past week I saw Blue Beetle, and here are my quick general thoughts on the film. Blue Beetle is a 2023 superhero film set in the dceu, directed by Angel Manuel Soto. I think I pronounced the director's name. I apologize if I said that wrong there. Reyes, who is the main character of the film, who finds this position of this ancient alien biotechnology called the Scarab, and the Scarab chooses him to become this superpowered with special, unpredictable superpowers known as the Blue Beetle. Here's the plot. It's pretty much what you've seen before in every superhero film. It's a superhero origin story with some humor and heart to it, which I've probably seen this before. As far as this movie goes, I wasn't that impressed by the trailers and the marketing because I hyped about it. I just thought it looked glossy, it looks very fabricated, it just looked like something out of a Netflix movie, which originally is meant to be an HBO Max straight to streaming movie, but that's the problem. It's and the box office returns, which we'll talk about later on. Want to give this movie a benefit of the doubt, give it a fair chance, and honestly, despite how I felt about it, I would say it's not bad. It's not, I wouldn't call it amazing. It's not great, but it wasn't as bad as I think it's going to be. I'll say it's fine. It's pretty much what I've seen before. It's very cliche, straight off the books from the superhero. You take the little books from the superhero stuff. It's very predictable, very cliche, very know where it's going, but good time. I think it is good for an enjoyable ride because if you're a fan of DCEU, you'll have fun with it, you'll have a good time. But if you're not, then you're gonna have some of a questionable time for me. For me, I had an okay one. It's an okay movie for me. It's just an okay, enjoyable movie. I wouldn't go far and call it amazing, or great, or terrible, or awful. Jamie Reyes as a character, I think he's likable, and I couldn't pronounce the actor's name. I don't want to butcher it. He was really good. I think he did fine. He did his best here. I think most of the cast did the best they could. I think all of them try to give it the script they're given, despite it's very predictable for where it's going. The suit itself, it looks good. I like the suit. It's got that mixture of practical, but yet CGI stuff elements into it, which I quite like. I do appreciate that. It doesn't feel like it's just a big giant CGI suit, which I do appreciate. The director has the right amount of using CGI and practical stuff without coming across as messy and jarring. As far as the special powers he uses is really enjoyable, and some of the action scenes are pretty entertaining for the most part. I think the action scenes are pretty enjoyable for watching. There are a couple of times I do enjoy the action. For the most part, it's good. And the family aspects from Jamie's family side is pretty good. I really like the family side. It's really good. I really like the family and the whole emotional weight to it. When it does pay off, it does pay off very well from the family side. And I thought that was worked very well. And the Latino representations is very, very well handled. And I think Latino people out there who's watching this or planning on seeing it, you will get a good out of it. As far as my problems with the movie, it just wasn't that amazing in terms of story-wise, because the story is basically the superhero origin story we've all seen before, but it just felt like done that type of thing. It's like we've seen this before. I think they borrowed some elements from the superhero movies in the past, but they don't bring anything new originality to it with its own personality. It feels like it's just there. You think you've seen this before. It's just mostly, oh, it's there, okay, whatever. And of course, the whole of it just felt pretty much generic. It looks like a generic storyline. It feels like we've seen this before. I just feel like, it was there most of the part. Humor in here is very questionable. There are couple of humor that I laughed at. There are some couple of humor that I did go chuckle out of it a little. Yeah, it was just that. It was just a wee or that was it. It wasn't a big laugh out loud, or it was just some of the humor felt very Saturday morning cartoon type of humor there. It just felt really wacky. I found it a little bit out of place, especially when Jamie gets the host of the Scarab and turns into Blue Beetle. It turns out it's a comedy. There's body horror going on. It's very questionable. I think some of the humor doesn't work. No, I did got some couple of laughs, but most of it just felt very cartoony and very out of place. As far as the villains go, played by Susan Sarandon did fine. She did her best, but for the most part, she was ultimately wasted. She was basically there. The villains are pretty generic, pretty gettable. Their motivation is just to use the skirt to make weapons, and that was it. There's not much to them. It's just very eh. It just didn't work for me personally. I just found it a little bit jarring and a little bit not the best here. It could have done better with the writing. Maybe that's just me personally. Now, I don't want to sound like how the future holds for this character, because we all know DC is going to get rebooted in the future with James Gunn's leadership. Of course, as far as this whole DCU is getting rebooted, and honestly, I'm just looking forward to the reboot. And will Blue Beetle appear in James Gunn's universe? It all depends. But I don't know, because it's set in the same universe as the past DCU, because this is the second last before Aquaman 2 was the last one before we get to James Gunn's rebooted version of the DC universe. But we'll see how it goes. Another negative I will say, some of the cinematography, well, it is nicely shot, but most of it just felt very, like I said about the trailers and the marketing, it looks very glossy. It looks very fabricated colors into it. It just felt really, I don't know, it feels like a TV movie more than a movie itself, which that's what the film is meant to be. It's meant to be an HBO Max streaming service movie, but they decided to put it out on HBO Max or release in cinemas. Of course, as a TV movie, then that would have been fine, but I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. Blue Beetle, it didn't really work for me personally. While there are some good time with it, you will be a fan of it if you are a fan of the DCEU, or if you're a fan of this franchise, if there are fans out there. You'll enjoy it, you'll have fun with it, you'll have a good time. But for me, I wasn't that impressed. It's just a big waste of time. My rating for Blue Beetle, I'll say stream it. Not on HBO Max when it comes out. I wouldn't probably waste my time again on this movie. And that's my thoughts on Blue Beetle, guys. And comment down below, what do you think of Blue Beetle? Do you love it? Do you like it? Or do you think it's alright? Or do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below what you think. And of course, guys, until next time, like, comment, subscribe, hit that icon bell for more future videos like this. Until next time, guys, see ya!